Well, good afternoon. We're a little late getting going this afternoon. We had our gardener helpers out today, and unfortunately when they're running a weed whacker, I can't record these very well because all you'd hear is the weed whacker. So, we finished off chapter 17 yesterday, and today we're going to start in on chapter 18 of Marc's mission, which is entitled, It Really Works. I rode the Bruiser to camp today. It was fun and fast. When I got to camp, I showed the bike to Nathan. He asked me who made the Bruiser bike. I told him, me. He was super excited about it and told me it looked like a serious machine. I even let him take a ride around the rec center before camp started, and he said it rode like a race car. After camp started, Nathan and I headed to the classroom for another art session. Today we were making a bridge with straws, tape, and toothpicks. Does that sound familiar? Well, you guys got to use spaghetti, didn't you? The bridge had to reach across 18 inches and be able to hold a 5-pound weight at its middle point. 5 pounds. It was pretty cool. Whichever team built the bridge the fastest and passed the test was the winner. We were the third fastest team, but the team that got it done the fastest had some big problems when the weight was placed on their bridge. The whole thing collapsed. So we ended up in second place, which wasn't too bad. It turns out that Nathan is a pretty cool kid now that I am getting to know him. It seems like he was interested in a lot of things I do, but didn't want to ask about them before. Today he asked me about jiu-jitsu. So what's the deal about that jiu-jitsu stuff that you do? Is it some kind of karate? I said, no, not really. Jiu-jitsu doesn't use punches and kicks like karate and a lot of other martial arts do. Well, how can you ever win a fight without punching or kicking? I mean, isn't that what fighting is? Punching and kicking aren't the only form of fighting. Jiu-jitsu is more like a form of wrestling. You can use moves to get dominant positions on your opponent, but then you use something called a submission hold to get your opponent to tap out. Tap out? Nathan asked. What's that? That's how you give up in jiu-jitsu. It's how you surrender. When someone gets you in a hold that could do some real damage, like an arm lock or a choke, then you just tap them a few times until they let go. And that's it? Well, in practice, that's it. That's why it's called practice or training. You and your opponent are not trying to hurt each other. You're just trying to get to the position where you could. Once you get caught there, you tap out. If you are the one that catches someone in a submission hold, you hold it until they tap out. But you don't ever put too much pressure to where you might actually hurt them. Unless it is a real self-defense situation, then you could apply more pressure and really hurt someone in order to protect yourself. And you really think this stuff would work? I know it works, because I use it every day. That's the thing with jiu-jitsu. You really use it when you practice. Of course, you don't actually hurt anyone, but you do get them to the point where they have to give up. Then they tap. So it's like a real fight, but no one gets hurt. That sounds pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Just as I finished saying that, I remembered that I had jiu-jitsu that night, and I decided it would be great if Nathan could come and learn some as well. Do you want to try some this afternoon? I have a class at 4 o'clock. I would, but, well, what? Come on, you'll like it. But, I mean, how much does it cost? I hadn't even thought of that. Uncle Jake and I had already seen that Nathan and his family didn't have much money. Luckily, my jiu-jitsu academy lets people come for their first lesson for free. Don't worry about that right now. At the Jiu-Jitsu Academy, the first class is free. That's cool. I definitely want to give it a try, Nathan said with a big smile on his face. That afternoon, we picked up Nathan from the rec center and brought him to the jiu-jitsu class. Once we were there, the instructor, Coach Adam, gave Nathan a gi, the uniform used in jiu-jitsu, to wear, and invited him out onto the mat. Then Coach Adam told me to teach the basics to Nathan. So I did. I showed him all the positions that we normally use in jiu-jitsu: mount, guard, half guard, full guard, across side, and of course the back mount. Then I showed Nathan some of the techniques I used to escape a mount. Finally, I showed him a couple of submission holds. First, a really simple shoulder lock called the Americana, and next a choke from the back called the Mata Leao, which means lion killer. Each time I put the hold on and started to apply pressure, Nathan would tap and then say, "Do it again, do it again." So I would do it again, and then with each move, he would say, "Let me try it." Then I would talk him through the move on me, and he would do it to me. He couldn't believe how easily the moves worked and how simple it was to get someone to tap out if he knew the technique. After a while, Coach Adam had us join with the rest of the class, and we worked on a couple more moves. Then when we were done with that, he set the class up for rolling, and he told me to train with Nathan. Of course, even though Nathan knew the basics, he didn't know enough to do anything against me but tap out. Nathan looked a little frustrated that it was so easy. So easy to tap him out, but at the same time, I could see that he was really into it. I think Coach Adam wanted to prove that jiu-jitsu really works, and since I'm bigger than Nathan, Coach Adam had Nathan train with Nora, who is quite a bit smaller than Nathan. But that didn't matter, of course, since Nora knows jiu-jitsu. She was able to tap him out pretty easily, too. When class was over, we walked down the stairs, and Coach Adam gave Nathan a piece of paper that had the class schedule and the prices. I watched Nathan's face fall when he saw how much it cost to train at the academy. And he looked pretty sad. We got in the car and didn't say much on the way back to the rec center to drop him off. Once he got out of the car at the rec center and we drove away, Uncle Jake said, "Did you see Nathan's face when he saw how much the classes cost?" "Yes, Uncle Jake." "I don't think he can afford to pay that much." "I don't either," I told Uncle Jake. "We have to find another way, Mark." "Another way?" "Yes, another way for Nathan to get money or a way for Nathan to pay." I had no idea what he meant, but it was coming from Uncle Jake. I was sure it meant something good. Okay, well, that's it for this afternoon. I will see you guys tomorrow.